You're listening to The Other 50%, a herstory of Hollywood. I'm Julie Harris Walker. This is a mini bonus episode. It is Liz Sayre's Tales from the Trenches. Liz is the Executive Vice President of Production at Fox Searchlight Pictures. She's overseen 100 movies. She shared a few stories with us. So here, have a listen. Do you have Tales from the Trenches?
Well, I've been thinking about this also, unlike a lot of the women who I've spoken to, I don't think I've ever been called the C word to my face.
That should be a new one of my questions. Have you been called the C word by a director?
Exactly. Or anybody. Not to my face that I can think of.
And behind your back, you just wouldn't know. No one has reported to you.
Exactly.
Yeah, there's too many of those stories.
Yeah, I know.
But someone brought up to me, are those same men calling women the C word, like, are they also calling men dicks? Like, are they equal opportunity insulting horrible people? Or is it really just focused on women?
That's a good question. I think there are people men who are probably focused on women. And there are women who focus negatively on men. Mm-hmm. And then there are others who are equal opportunity and just kind of hate everybody.
Do you any crazy, can't believe this thing happened on a set stories?
Actually, there were two things that happened on the same movie. This was a long time ago. A director, I was not on set this day. A director, we were shooting in a hotel on a floor, room floor, not a public area. Mm-hmm. And it was a one-day thing in this hotel, shooting, going down the hall into the hotel room. And he locked himself in one of the bathrooms because he hated the director.
Okay.
Because he hated the sconces. Really, I got a call from the producer. Hi, the director's locked himself in a bathroom because he hates the sconces. Well, get him the fuck out of the bathroom. And, really?
So stupid.
So stupid. And the same movie.
Wait, how was that resolved?
They talked him out of the bathroom. He came out. And they did not, they weren't able to change the sconces. So he had to live with it. I think he probably re-angled he had to get over it. He was very emotional. He also yelled at me on set one day because he was going over, shooting long days, a lot of overtime. They were going over budget, and we were looking at scenes to cut or places to trim so that we could bring it down. And so I was talking to him on the set, and he was like, okay. And then he got up and walked away and then turned around and said, I didn't write these words so that you could cut them. I'm like, okay, fine.
Any other industry, like the locking yourself in the bathroom behavior, you would just be replaced.
I know. But no. And on the same movie, the creative executive and I went to the set one day to talk to the producers and say, look, can you get him to roll back a little bit? Even because he was doing spending a lot of time on inserts. It's like, we're not even asking for a B camera to do the inserts. He can do the inserts. Just can he not do 15 takes on the inserts? So that you can move on with your day.
And are you shooting film?
And we were shooting film.
So it's more and more expensive.
More and more expensive. And they looked at us and said, no, that's not our job.
The producers said that?
Yeah, the producers.
That's not their job?
That's not their job.
Whose job is it?
Well, that was kind of what we said. We said, well, who will do well, no, he's an artist.
Doesn't mean money's no object.
Yeah, I know.
Oh,
so that was a silly one. That movie was filled with silliness. The director, I think, he has calmed down over the years. But
is he that good?
It depends. Depends on what you think. It's subjective. Another one, I was at a cost report meeting. We were shooting in a hotel, and in the hotel lobby, which was all glass walls going out to the front of the hotel, and glass walls going to a big courtyard. So it was all glass. And I was down there to do a cost report meeting with the line producer. The producer was part of it. The whole accounting team and stuff. And we're sitting in this side room. And one of the ADs came in and whispered in the producer's ear and said, we need you on set. So the producer got upset. I'll be back, excuse me. He disappears. We finished the meeting. He never came back. And he called me later that day and said, "I'm so sorry I didn't come back to the meeting, but you know, the lobby where we were shooting, all the glass and everything, and the LAPD was right outside, you know, our security doing, because we had cars and stuff, so they were doing, but LAPD was there." He said, "Well, the director decided to fire up a joint in the middle of the lobby, and I had to go take care of it."
Dummy.
I said, "Okay, I understand that. Thank you very much. Sorry we missed you, but..."
Dummy.
Yeah, dumb.
Did the police
No,
react?
No. Apparently not. Apparently he got there in time. They were not looking in. So, yeah, I had a director. Most of the time I get on really well with the team because, you know, I always tell them I'm here to help you. I'm here to help you navigate. You need anything, let us know.
And you're a nice human.
And I'm a nice human. I'll be nice to you. You be nice to me. And this is when I was at HBO. I went to the set and talking to the line producer, and we're standing like at a monitor, and the director was on the other side of this very big room, and I hear over the walkies, "What's she doing here?" We just laughed. I said, "I'll step off if you want me to." And they said, "No, you can stay here. It's fine. He's just fussy."
That would be the time to say, "What's the C word doing here?"
Yeah, exactly.
If it was that guy. Wow, just your presence.
Yeah, just my
raised
presence.
the director.
Yeah.
So you're the studio getting all up in his business?
Exactly.
Yeah. You're the enemy. The
I'm
people
the
writing the
enemy.
big check.
Yep, the enemy with the checkbook.
So funny.
Yeah. Silly stuff.
Really silly. All right,
But
got any
fun.
more?
Well, so many different things happen along the way. We were making a movie in Cleveland and San Diego. And the company shot for a couple of weeks in Cleveland. Then they were moving down to San Diego, and they were going to be working on the naval base in San Diego. We had our production offices there. We had access to their ships. We had full naval cooperation.
And that's a live base.
It's a live base. And they were scheduled to scout. They were finished shooting in Cleveland, I think. Anyway, scheduled to then come out and do the final scout on the base on September 12th, 2001.
Oh. How'd that go?
It was really interesting because we actually were, I guess they were still scouting because I was going to go down and meet them and do the final scout. And of course, everything, shut down. And we thought, are we even going to be able to make this movie?
Yeah.
It's about a guy in the Navy, and we have full naval cooperation. And spent everything shut down for a couple of days, and then when we got back up and running, they finished working in Cleveland. As I'm thinking about it now, they were still shooting there, and we started negotiating with the Navy, who said ultimately, initially it was like, you can't shoot here, you can't come on our base, you have no access, anything. We're throwing everything out the window that we had already negotiated.
Yeah, you were lucky they took your phone call that day.
Yeah, exactly. Ultimately, like the next week, I think it was the next week or so, the location manager flew out from Cleveland. The creative exec and I got on the train, went down to San Diego. We were able to have a meeting with the admiral and sat in a room with the admiral, a bunch of their PIO guys, and we had a whole presentation, did the whole presentation. The location manager, who's now line producer and is great at it, she had prepared all of this stuff. We had Plan B, wherein we wouldn't be based on the base, but we still needed the ships, their people, and all that stuff. We go through everything. He listens. He asks some questions, and he said, "Okay, thank you." And we heard, I think it was later, I don't think it was in the room, he agreed. It may have even been in the room, I don't remember now. But we invaded Afghanistan like the next day. he knew that that was going on. He knew exactly what his answer was going to be, but we still had to go through the drama of it. But they were incredibly helpful, and they were wonderful, given what the country was going through at the moment.
They had a lot on their plate.
They still let us come in and do it, and we
That's
zigged
incredible.
and zagged.
And he can't tell you we're invading Afghanistan tomorrow.
No, exactly.
And was this the week of 9/11?
Yeah. Well, it was the week after. By that time, I think a week or two had passed that we went down there, that we were able to actually get in the room with them and, and get them to listen to us and
What was
allow
the movie?
us. Antoine Fisher, Denzel Washington directed.
It's like that's moments when it all gets real,
Absolutely.
when the life gets real.
Yeah. And we had another movie shooting in New York at that time too, and they shut down.
I wonder how many films got shut down that week.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure all of them.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Everything shut down because our movie did come back.
I wonder how many got shut down for like Kristen's movie got shut down forever.
Oh, really?
Because she said she was driving 9/11, driving to the movie, which was a terrorist bomb attack in a mall.
That's right.
Yeah, that movie's over.
Yeah, exactly. No, we just had to change things. A little much on the blood pressure.
It's dramatic.
Very dramatic.
And how did it even feel to be on a base during that time?
Exactly. Well, that was it. I mean, we then had very limited access, a lot more security, but the Navy ended up. I mean, they were fantastic. They were incredibly helpful.
Well, they're professionals.
They're professionals. But the fact that they let these movie people in when they were looking at who knows what was
amazing.
A time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Any other ones?
It's funny because I can never remember, stuff. But every movie has its,
its little something.
Its little something, and not all bad. I mean, some are the most brilliant, wonderful experiences where everything just goes well, and you love everybody, and they're all, friendly and happy, and
I'm gonna be so magical.
It can be really magical. And then there are other times where it's just a slog.
Yeah.
We were doing a movie in Mexico in a little resort town on the water, and we'd taken over a resort to make this ridiculous movie. And the filmmaking, the actors and the writers and actors were the same. There was a team, a comedy group. And one of them was the director. And I got a call from the line producer who said, somebody needs to talk to the team because they're in town, in this little Mexican village. They're in town smoking pot in public. We're in Mexico. It's really not accepted here. And I said, okay, we'll have some conversations.
You don't want to bail them out of Mexican prison.
Exactly. It's really not something I wanted to do. So
funny.
Yeah.
Were you ever on a movie where you knew, like watching a scene or in the moment where you knew it was something so special?
If I love the script and I love the movie and the experience, I think it's going to be incredibly special. There are other movies that I've worked on that I didn't see, like Birdman. Mm-hmm. I was kind of like, really?
You were iffy on that?
I was iffy on it, yeah. And we did it in conjunction with New Regency, and they were the lead team. So really, I had very little kind of to do with it. But I didn't get it. And then as we started to see dailies, I got it.
Yeah.
But had no idea that it was going to do what it did. And then there are other movies that I thought would be incredibly brilliant and nobody went to see. So
there's no accountant for taste.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's funny. You just never know.
I know. And in fact, I went to see Black Swan and took a friend and to the premiere. And at the end of the movie, she turned to me and she said, "Oh, I'm really sorry." She said, "It's really not very good, is it?" And I said, "Well, it has its strengths." And It did all right.
It did just fine.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry about that little hit you just made.
Yeah.
That's funny. You've been listening to The Other 50%. I'm Julie Harris Walker. I'd like to thank Liz Sayre for telling us her story. And special thanks to Jonathan Lucas for editing, Jay Rowe, Danny Rosner, and Allison McQuaid for the music. Please find us on iTunes and subscribe and leave a review, and on our website, theother50%.com, all spelled out, for added features and bios of our guests. You can also follow us on Facebook under The Other 50%, the numbers and the percentage sign, and on Twitter as @other50%. Thanks for listening. See you next time.